call, much to some of their chagrin, an elder in residence. And but these are women and men. We've done this conversation. I think the first one we did was with Dr. Weems, but we didn't record it. So she's going to be with us again so we can actually record conversation with her. We did it with Dr. Cohn in Nashville. We did a recording with Dr. Henry Mitchell that we have yet to get up on the website, but who just phenomenal conversations. And we did one with Dr. Gabe Byron in DC. And so now, with Dr. JoAnne Terrell, who is the, I'm going to make sure I get your title right, the associate, is this right?
It's not right.
This isn't right. So you're, it's the associate professor of ethics, theology, and the arts. I actually was going to say that.
Oh.
No, I was going to say that because I knew that. And is a member of the AME Zion Church and an ordained elder of the AME Zion Church. Is a womanist scholar. You can ask her anything about that when she wants to. But, and that's all I want to read about that. And she works here, teaches here, is appointed a professor here at Chicago Theological. She's my friend. So part of what I get to do is hang out with people who I admire and who I love very much and appreciate their work very much. So I asked Dr. Terrell to have this conversation with us because of 3 reasons. Aside from the fact that she's my friend and I want to hang out with her for a while, but her work around art and working through sort of the ways in which we are inculcate violence, or particularly in sexist and racist ways, and so I want her to talk about that. Her book, Power and Blood, which is a look at the cross in African American traditions, is, I think, a must read if you haven't read it, and just sort of theologically, it's one of those pieces you probably need to look at. And she sings. So the last time I heard her preach in public, we danced to "You're a Shining Star" at the end of the sermon. And so we did dance, as in they put the song on and we danced at the end of the sermon. That was the good news, Karen. And so the ways in which theology and art function in her prophetic preaching and teaching ministry. So, welcome, if you will, with me, Dr. Terrell. So, hi. I had a first question, but it shifted in my head as I was introducing you. And I do want you, if you will, to say something about the work, the way art informs your attempt to disrupt violence in some kind of prophetic way, the way you get at it. And why is that so important to you? Why the art and the connection?
Well, from a young child, I believed myself to be an artist, a dramatic artist, like most young children are, just naturally. But that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be an actress when I was young, very young. And I knew that. I didn't actually become an actress. I became a preacher, which is close. Close. But I wanted to act. But I also developed the gift of singing. I always had a good ear. I had a very good ear as a young child, but I really didn't sing well at all. But I had a really good ear, and I asked for the gift of singing when I was about 13. And so then my voice cracked, of course. But when I was 15, my mother was murdered. She was violently killed by her boyfriend at the time, shot and killed. And it literally muted me. I could not speak for at least 6 months it was. And I could only speak was spoken to. And one day, I went with my cousins, who were all younger than I. I was the youngest in my own family, but my cousins were younger than I, so it was a strange kind of place to be in. My cousins took care of me, and I went to choir rehearsal with them one day, and I was sitting in the pews while they were singing, and my cousin was singing a song so poorly. I said, "Don't sing it like that, sing it like this." And what came out of me surprised everybody, including me. And that was my way back into life, was to sing. And shortly after that, I heard again the call to preach, because I'd heard it when I was 8 years old. And but I was 16 at the time I heard the call again. And I began preaching. And